Where does creative expression spring from? The upcoming exhibition Parched Earth, Ardent Spring at the UP Vargas Museum answers this question by way of artworks that show the beauty of the printmaking method. Visual artists Yan-Santos and Henrielle, Pagkaliwangan, and curator Eya Beldia tell us more here live in the studio. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Rico. Good evening.
Congratulations. First of all, Eya, let me start off with you as a curator. What is the overall theme of this group exhibition?
So Parched Earth, Ardent Spring focuses on the fundamental, the concept of the indispensable for visual artists and printmakers.
And how were you able to mesh the works of more than 10 artists who are part of this group exhibition?
So we selected visual artists that really work with printmaking to be able to express the message that we're trying to come across here for this exhibition.
And one printmaking artist is Yan-Santos. Pam, nice to see you.
Nice to see
Tell
you.
us about your work, Keepsake. What was the inspiration behind this piece?
Okay, this is part of a series.
Let's try to lift the work so for everyone to see.
Yeah. Lately, I've been working on the themes about organizing, order, management. Maybe because I have 3 kids and it's, every day is hard to manage. And I used the image of the envelope. And I played around with the words keepsake, safe keep, and keep safe. It's still a product of the pandemic also. And the image at the back, it's actually a photo of my son, my eldest son. He loves doodling and writing a lot, Juno. And this is like what we've compiled for more than how many years, and I took a shot of it. And it's just like me saying it's worth to keep it because it has a lot of memories. I work on that.
Absolutely. And of course, everybody also wants to find out what is basically the process of printmaking. What kind of work went into this keepsake art piece?
Okay, for this piece, I use serigraphy. Serigraphy is a more fancy name for the commercial term silkscreen. What I did first here is I did a collage on paper, and then I used the silkscreen where I have my image of the envelope, and then I printed it on top.
Are these basically several layers
Yes.
before you come up with this final product?
Yes. That's why I love printmaking because it allows me to work with layers. It gives me a bit of control and predictability, but at the same time, I also hate it because it's so meticulous. But
More detailed than canvas works?
yes.
And Henrielle, let's take a look at your work. What is the title of this work? It looks like it was taken out from my study room. all
the same objects.
all the clutter and all the objects in my study room. Tell us, what is the title of this art piece of yours?
So
Henrielle?
this is called When the Sun. So I did a series of this image over the pandemic. So we spent a lot of time indoors, and I found comfort with being surrounded by familiar objects around me. So there's 2 windows in this work, and the series actually there's variations of in color. So there's a version of this that's like daytime, nighttime.
Several versions.
Yeah, several versions. So that's why I love printmaking. You can make several variations of a single image. So same image can go a long way.
So just like this work of Pam, which leads several layers, what was the process that went through this printmaking?
I actually have the matrix.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see.
Yes, we
on
can
the
see it.
camera. So this is a plexi plate. So this is an acrylic sheet. So the design is actually etched on the plate. So the ink goes into the incisions, and then it goes through the press. The press will apply the pressure to transfer the ink to the paper. So I can make this image in different colors, in different inking, different textures, like that.
And I noticed, Eya, these works of Pam and Henrielle, they're an edition of 3. For Pam, it's the second edition of 3, as well for Henrielle. In printmaking, do you usually have editions, or could it just be like a monoprint, one of one?
Well, actually, that is very possible. Monoprints and variation prints. One item is unique. But there are also these editions, not meaning like copies of each other. Each one is still different. Each one is a different handmade piece by the artist. What they're saying by editions is that you get to have several pieces of the same idea coming from this print, right? And that makes it more democratic.
Yes.
Many more people are able to capture or have these in their homes, especially now, right? When we're at home, we get to see pieces like this in our homes.
Yeah, usually, I've seen monoprints, no? Let's say, for example, Keepsake and When the Sun, it's just the same print, but in different colors.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Yes.
That's why it is unique.
Unique.
It is a unique print
Yes.
for each of the works.
No two prints are exactly the same.
All right, tell us, Pam, does this also have a monoprint, Keepsake?
This one? Yes, it has. I have different versions of this one. The other one that I did has a different image, and I only made just one. Sometimes it's like that. There are some concepts that you want to expand into 3 editions, but there are some that you just want one.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, why only 3? When I'm sure many collectors would want 10 or 20 so they could have a piece of a Pam Yan-Santos.
Well, there are many
Or
factors.
is it because you have 3 sons?
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. Yeah, but there are definitely different reasons why an artist decides on how many editions a work should be. One is the plate. Sometimes the plate can only handle, let's say, 10 editions, or some plates can handle 100 or 500 editions. Sometimes also, again, the subject matter, you don't want to make a lot of copies of it. Yeah.
But I know in printmaking, Henrielle, no, apart from the edition of 3 that you already have for When the Sun, there are also what you call artist proofs. The artist proofs come before the edition of 1, 2, 3. How different is that from the edition works, the artist proof?
Well, essentially, it should be the same prints, but we want a copy of for ourselves, diba? So, artist proof, essentially, dapat it's the same. But because there's a trace of hand, you can't really make exactly the same. So, if you look closely, there will be variations in like inking. There will be areas that would be more faded. But essentially, it should be like going through the same motions, going through the same, using the same materials. It should be the same.
So how true is it, Eya, when they say that the artist proof is more valuable than the edition
I
prints?
don't really believe
rebutted what I said.
Well, it's equal measure, right? What the artist proof allows is for artists to have works on their own, right? When you're creatively conscious about your piece, you also want to keep it for yourself. And that's what the print allows, right? To have this memory of making it, going through it, and having it for yourself.
Unless you force the hand of the artist that you want, you want the artist proof. So, Pam, I know you also print and you also paint on canvas.
Yes,
I've seen your
yes.
works on canvas, just like your husband, Jose Yan-Santos III, who's also a very famous artist here in the Philippines. Share with us, what are the challenges of printmaking, as you say, many layers, and working on a canvas piece?
I've been working with print since I was in college, and when I graduated, I didn't have access to the print room. We have machines there and all. So I decided to make canvas works, mixed media. But I noticed that the process I use in doing my canvas works is also the same as in printmaking. I do it in layers. Let's say I do the first layer as collage, and then I'll do the next layer as painting, and then I'll do the next layers maybe inking, or then the last one would be the print. It's also the process. It can be mixed media, but the way I approach it, it's very much like printmaking also.
And what about for you, Henrielle? I know when it comes to printmaking, you also have to buy the machines, right?
Yes.
Are the machines readily available for printmakers here in the country?
Actually, as of now, there are some materials and machines that are not easily accessible. But recently, printmakers were able to source some makeshift alternatives for to make prints. And we actually do workshops where we teach people to use other. For example, there's this workshop where we demoed with the pasta machine. So it also exerts pressure to transfer the ink to the paper. So there are these alternatives for the proper equipment for printmaking.
You know, Eya, when you talk to a lot of Filipino art collectors, they will always focus on the work on canvas, whether it be the medium be oil or acrylic.
Right.
What will they learn from this exhibit, Parched Earth, Ardent Spring, that collectors should also look into works on print that are as valuable as the works on canvas?
Right. I mean, there's no comparison because each one is primary ground. It allows for the medium, the message of the artist to come together through this process. Actually, printmaking is a very technique and technical process. And what we're trying to do with Parched Earth, Ardent Spring is say that, hey, artists like Henrielle, like Pam, are able to say and share their message through the medium of print. And more than that, right, what is really indispensable? That's our question here for Parched Earth, Ardent Spring. You know, what does the artist think that is, you know, foundational, that is core to their being and what they observe to be in society as well?
You know, Pam, you and your husband have made it big here in the Filipino art, among Filipino art circles. Have we already reached the global art platform? Have we already made it famous? Have we already made it big overseas? And what will it take for us to get there?
Honestly, Rico, I think I'm the wrong person to ask because I don't see myself there yet. I just came from my first art fair last January, and it's only my first time to join an international art fair. But what I can say is, from my experience there, when I see the works of Filipino artists, it's nice to see it beside other international artists and how we fare. And you can be really, really proud that we can showcase a good talent from our country.
And Henrielle, can we really showcase our printmakers abroad? Can we compete on the global platform?
Well, compared to other countries, printmaking in the Philippines is relatively young, but I think we're getting there.
Oh, may I also add that actually we've shown Henrielle perhaps in a Triennale, in a Biennale for prints, and we've done that in other countries and foreign countries with the printmakers in Parched Earth, Ardent Spring.
Looking forward to the opening of Parched Earth, Ardent Spring at the UP Vargas Museum in cooperation with the Tin-Au Gallery. Thank you, ladies, for joining us on The Final Word. Pam, Henrielle, and Eya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And